it's Gamer7 and welcome back to another creative sim here on the channel. We are continuing on with my lovely rainbow occult sims, which currently is vampires. If you've seen the previous ones, then you sort of know the gist at this point. If not, there is going to be a link down below to the Rainbow Occults playlist so that you can go check out the previous ones. There also is a playlist down there that is like all of my creative sims that are on this channel. So it does have these Rainbow Occult sims as well as other creative sim series and other creative sims that I've done in the past. So if you would like to check that out too, that is also down there. So feel free to have a look. But yeah, I do highly encourage, if you haven't seen the previous colors for this series, to go see their creation, because I definitely would like to know people's thoughts and opinions of them comparatively. So yeah, anyway, we are here with Green this time around, and her lovely creation process. And I talked about it a little bit more in probably in the yellow creative sim, but with some of these, like, I sort of tried going in with sort of an idea of like a theme or like a personality. But overall, something sort of started developing as time went on. So with Green, I will say Green was probably the one, like Green and Blue especially, and then also partially Indigo. If you've also seen watched the previous ones, you know that somehow I forgot Indigo. And I actually haven't finished Indigo still yet. I have like a little project that I've been working on that's more for my personal play that I think I'll like every once in a while share pictures of, and I talk about it maybe once or twice. And if anyone's curious, I might use it as like the backdrop for like vlogs, because I'm sort of doing my vlogs like that going forward. But anyway, that's something totally different. So I haven't actually finished Indigo at this point in time, but we're not going to talk about that right now, and we're not going to talk about the fact that I forgot that Indigo was a thing, technically. To me, when it gets to that point of the rainbow colors, when you see them together, honestly, I sort of forget that there's supposed to be three colors there. But it wasn't until I was driving to work one day, and I don't even know why I was thinking about it, but I was thinking about it driving to work, and I was like thinking about the whole like thing they used to tell you in school with Roy G. Biv. And yeah, that's when I was like, wait a minute. What does the I stand for? Hold up. Indigo. Oh, I didn't create Indigo. Well, I should do that. But anyway, yeah. Definitely at least for those three. Now, Indigo is still a work in progress, obviously. But Blue and Green here, I actually know where the process ended up. But yeah. Anyway, so with them, I didn't have a very strong direction going in at the beginning of this, versus like, you know, with Red, I definitely wanted like more of the old school vampire, and with Yellow, I definitely sort of wanted a more bright outlook, like more fun. Even Violet sort of falls under that sort of fun, but I added like more of a touch of girly. Orange, I wanted it to be like almost, literally, sort of, in some ways, a mix of red and yellow. Like, sort of seems pleasant and stuff, but then it's got that old school, scary vampire aspect. But yeah. So with Green, I didn't know going in which direction I was going to take her. I sort of played around with things, like, trying to sort of, get a feel for things. Like, sometimes when, you're doing a creative sim process, even if you have an idea of what you're going in, or you have like a pretty good idea what you're going in, at least for me personally, maybe not for everyone. Let me know if you can relate to this, but sometimes when you go in, even with like a pretty good idea of what you're going to do and how you're going to create the sim and what you want them to look at, as you start fooling around and create a sim, sometimes it seems like those things change or like slightly update or adapt or whatever. So, but this one was full on, I'm just gonna experiment and see where it goes. So pretty quickly, as I was playing around with her though, I started going a little bit more like a gothic vibe. Like, she's probably the more quiet one of the group, but she also maybe is like really sort of nerdy underneath, but she's like quiet. She sort of stays in the background. She sort of likes the fact that maybe she looks slightly scary and intimidating, but she probably really isn't that scary and intimidating. She just presents this look of it because there's a part of her that likes being like more like a loner type, minding her own business, and she'd rather you leave her the same. So if she looks slightly what most typical people would find intimidating, like, oh, they just won't come near me anyway. So yeah, I was sort of going with cute gothic vibes, if that makes sense, because I didn't want her to actually be full-on scary or intimidating, but you know, sometimes people perceive more gothic looks to be that way. That's what I was going for, if you get my drift. And that's what I was sort of playing around with, but one of the things that I've come to find out, and if I ever do another Rainbow Occult, obviously it's going to be an issue that I run into again, and I've probably I for surely say I've run into it with some of the other series, because obviously if I'm doing it based off of a character, that character is or wears probably particular colors more often, just so that it's more iconic, like you recognize them. More often, so, but not quite as much as with, like, the Rainbow Sims, because even with the other characters, if they're known to mainly wear red, I can put them in mostly red, but I can easier add other colors in, or be a little bit lenient on certain things, or, you know, be like, this gives more of the feel or aesthetic of them better. So, you know, but this one I gotta try to get as much of that color words. Most of that color there to emphasize the fact that, hey, this is green. This is the green sim of this group. I will say with Indigo, that's probably my biggest struggle. So once I get to Indigo, I'm actually going to need to finish Indigo soon, because I'm actually uploading Yellow's video the day after recording this voiceover. So that means this video is coming up next, which means Blue is after that, and then Indigo. So I should probably really get onto that, but anyway. So yeah. With her, I was definitely trying to, you know, keep that green in mind. She is a little bit more of a diluted green than maybe I was originally planning on going for, but I think because I was going for a little bit more of that gothic vibes, toning the green down a bit and making it more of a darker green, more of a muted darker green, fits for that sort of feel, but you also get that, hey, this is the green vampire sim. So, yeah, I was pretty happy with her. The more I think about it, the more I really struggle to pick a favorite. If I had to, part of me's biased and would want to say red, but red is my favorite color. But I really, really like how blue turned out. And I quite like how green turned out too. So, I don't know. I don't know which one to pick. Those would probably be my top 3. I really thought Violet would be in my top 3, and don't get me wrong, I really liked how Violet turned out too. I can't really comment on Indigo, because I haven't seen how she finished, because I started, and then I forgot why I stopped. I saved her to my gallery, as she is at the moment, and was going to go back to her. I've actually downloaded a little bit of more CC since I started her, so who knows, she might even change once I get back to fooling with her again. But anyway, but yeah, I think green definitely is up there overall. I think there's a part of me that's always wished that I could have more confidence to dress more. I like sort of the gothic style, but then I also sort of like sort of the fairy cottagecore style. And then also every once in a while I'm like, but I really sort of want to look very girly all of a sudden. But ultimately, usually my laziness kicks in above any other urges, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna put on some yoga pants and a t-shirt. Yep. So ultimately, my fashion urges are there, but most of them do not go triumph the urge to just throw on leggings and shirt. But anyway, so yeah, I definitely would like to know your thoughts down in the comments below. And again, like I've asked in the previous ones, I know I'm not really close to the ending here. I admit, so I don't pre-script any of my voiceovers. The only ones that I've ever remotely even got close to doing that And this was on my old channel, which my old channel's still up if you want to go see it. I think it's, I don't know if I have it linked in anything, actually, anymore. It might be linked in one of my first videos where I come over here, one of my first vlog videos. But instead of being Artsy Gamer 7, it's Artistic Gamer 7. I have vlogs of why I decided to make a whole new channel versus sticking with that one. I did move some of the series over to this one because they was not completed at the time. But yeah, I have my reasons. Part of it was just a refresh. I was moving for the first time in my whole entire life. There was a lot changing in my life, and I decided, you know what, my YouTube channel is going to be refreshed along with it. So, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, the only closeness I've probably got, and I thought about bringing the series back, but October crept up on me pretty quickly. I did like a short little series in October one year on my old channel where I did builds. Also, I still haven't fully got my build and mojo back. I haven't fully wanted to build again. Anyway, where I built haunted locations and I went into the history and also the well-known hauntings of the location. A lot of times history sort of builds up the haunting, so I went over both. So I had little notes of like key points to bring up and key things to say and stuff like that. So that is the closest I've ever got to scripting any of these voiceovers, and it is probably very, very obvious. But to me, I feel like if I was to read from a script, I would get too robotic-y and almost too anxious, too nervous, because I don't know, something about reading from a piece of paper just reminds me of being back in school and having to read in class to a bunch of people in front of them. Yeah, just the memories alone is making me stutter here. But yeah, I didn't like that. But anyway, let me know, who is your favorite leading up to this point? Do you like Green, how she turned out? What do you think of her? Is she potentially a favorite of yours now, or is one of the other ones still more of a favorite? Definitely would like to know, so let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, you know that lovely YouTube giddiness, and keep an eye out for the next video. I know my videos have been quite spaced out recently. I sort of got off the hang of things. Now I'm getting back on the hang of things, but I'm never going to force myself or stress myself out to make sure I get videos out by a certain time, because within the past year or so, which I've talked about on this channel, my mental health had took a big hit. So I am not going to risk my mental health until, I'm not going to ever risk my mental health, but anyway, I'm not going to try to push stuff out on my channel and try to be hard on myself to get them pushed out for a while, because I want to make sure that I don't fall back into that. So I want to make sure, though I am in a good place and a lot of things are great and a lot of things are better for me, I just want to be sure. I want like a full year of being mentally mostly stable to kick in before I possibly put more pressure on myself and potentially backtrack. So yeah, anyway. So that's why they're a little sporadic. They probably will continue to be sporadic, but I'm trying to get slowly a little bit better and a little less sporadic. I'm actually trying to pre-plan and schedule and get some up and actually scheduled, so that even if I forget or run out of time that day to upload them, they're already they're already good. They're already scheduled. They're already ready to go. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next one. But until then, bye-bye!